Welcome back. So today the biggest disappointing thing that came out was that the House voted not to move forward with the vote on the 3 crypto bills. So that was a big thing that happened today, but let me explain what's going on. This does not mean that that's it, there's no more. This is just a vote. And this was the same thing with the Genius bill too. The Genius, it's weird that you have to vote to move forward with the vote. And a lot of times they add amendments and all this stuff to to kind of confuse things or whatever, right? The Genius bill had to go through this a couple times in the Senate before it went through the official vote, and then it passed. But it had to have a vote to have a vote. So that's exactly what happened. So Trump was actually telling people on Truth Social that, hey, all Republicans need to go vote yes so that we can get some official voting happening in the House on the 3 bills. The Clarity Bill, the Genius Bill, and the anti-CBDC bill. But today, it was shot down. There was actually, I think the overall number, off the top of my head, I think it's like 198 yes and like 220 no, something like that. So it's unknown why. There are some people that want to add in as an amendment that Epstein files need to be released. That's still a big thing among a lot of people. So I don't know if that was like snuck in or what. I saw one Republicans say that they're afraid that the Genius bill or the basically the stablecoin regulations is going to lead to some kind of CBDC, which is not really the case. The whole point of having the Genius bill is to regulate stablecoins in a way so that there's freedom of choice and that more could be issued. It just wants to protect. It wants to protect the chains and to protect the companies that are issuing them, basically. So yeah, a lot of reasons given. So unfortunately, the vote for this week has been shot down, but not all is lost. This happens all the time. So if they have to push it back, if both sides have to do their thing, right, negotiate or add in or take out stuff, then we just have to wait until next week. It's not the biggest deal. So today there's a lot of headlines about Bitcoin falling because of it. I think it's more just, again, the market makers trying to clear out their longs. That's it. So we dropped down to 106 at one point today, and as of right now we're back to 108. Not 108, 118. So this morning we dropped to 116. See how quickly things change? It feels like just last week we were $10,000 lower, and now we're $10,000 higher, and people are worried about a few $1,000 fall. Yeah, we dropped to 116 this morning. We're back to 118, and we could be back to 120 tomorrow. So really nothing changes. There's a lot of narratives out there, but ultimately, what I've been showing you guys has been the most accurate from CoinGlass. Basically, the liquidation levels. The market makers love to move markets towards either the top or bottom, which will liquidate the shorts or the longs. They're like magnets, and whenever you get too overheated on one side, you tend to fall to the other side. That's just how it works. Right now, bad news does not really drop Bitcoin, and this is just like a tiniest little setback. That's really what it is. Now, I saw something else interesting, and this should be no surprise. Saylor, because of all his DCAing strategy, now holds 3% of the overall supply there will ever be of Bitcoin. Ever be. And he wants to, of course, boost that, probably at some point get to 6 or 7 or even 10%. And you know what? You know who secretly is buying up strategy? Vanguard. Vanguard is now the largest shareholder of MicroStrategy. They have doubled their holdings, so now they're up to about 8%. So they're gobbling up MicroStrategy like MicroStrategy is gobbling up Bitcoin. Vanguard itself, they said they want to stay away from Bitcoin. They don't want to offer ETF. They're still shy about it, but what they're not shy about is the companies they're purchasing. If you look at all the majorly traded crypto companies like Strategy and Coinbase and others, a large percentage of them are held by Vanguard. And you could say, well, because it's Vanguard funds or whatever, this and that, there's always a lot of confusion like who actually officially owns things. Just like BlackRock. BlackRock has over 700,000 Bitcoin, and they're like the second or third largest shareholder of Strategy and others. You know Larry Fink is all in on Bitcoin, right? So however it's broken up, there's probably a lot of internal buying, a lot of back and forth, a lot of gray areas. So it should come as no surprise that the big institutions are loading up. Okay, I've been sharing this every single day. It's not hearsay, it's not a conspiracy, it's just reality. This is fact. In previous cycles, I've talked about how we're hoping, we're wishing, and it may come, right? This cycle, it's definitely here, it's definitely happening, so you don't want to ignore this. A lot of people simply do not understand. A lot of people still like to gamble and still want to, get in the newest, lowest hidden gem. I get that. Because they're chasing for that next 10x, 100x. But you can't ignore the big daddy, which is Bitcoin. There's still a lot of potential to go at least a 2x for this cycle, a 10x in the next few cycles, and even more beyond that. This is a sure thing now. Bitcoin is now a recognized asset that the multi-trillion dollar asset managers are FOMOing into as much as they can. Trillion-dollar asset manager companies like Fidelity and BlackRock and Vanguard and others, they are accumulating as much as they can, and all these private companies now that have implemented Bitcoin strategy, it is the way to go, so don't ignore it. And the two crypto I talked about yesterday, they're still doing really well, sky high. Sui is now above $4. It's like $4.10 right now. Seems like they just want to keep on going. We've seen this before earlier this year. They want a tremendous run, and I'm wondering if they're going to break their previous high. I think back a few months ago they were like 430s, and they were as high as like $5 before. They're on their way again. And then Say, I mentioned them, they're still doing well too. They had a tremendous day. I think they're at 37, 38 cents. They are climbing. These two are red hot right now. But like I've been saying, altcoin season may have started. Bitcoin dominance went down starting from the 1st of this month. But we have seen periods like this before where Bitcoin dominance has come down quite a lot and then boom, right back up. So don't know if this is really the altcoin season, but we know others like ETH is also starting to go up, about 3,100. A lot of enthusiasm over the Genius Bill and stablecoins. That's why. So, who knows? This could be a time. This could be a time, right? When we start going higher, at least for the alts. But you never want to ignore Bitcoin. It's the best asset that we have. It's the one asset I will continue to hold and DCA into pretty much forever. So don't ignore it. But don't be upset. Overall, don't be upset with what happened today. You might hear a lot of negative things, and you might be wondering, oh, is it dead? Are all these bills or acts dead? No. Today was just the very first vote to get the official votes going. But we will have a lot more, don't worry. And the next one could be, the next vote to vote could even be later this week. Who knows? Who knows? Trump is making this urgent, and I think he's going to get things pushed through. So that's it, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye-bye.